We are a little over 48 hours away from having football back on our television screens, which means it's time for our week 0 preview. We're going to touch on a couple games, but we'll primarily focus on Farmageddon, number 17, Kansas State versus number 22, Iowa State. The first time in 23 years we have had a ranked versus ranked matchup in week 0. This is Always Talking Ball with Tyler Noe and Lance Barton. Real quick before we get started, always make sure you like and subscribe on whatever platform you're tuning in on. Make sure you follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure you go visit our friends at FrostBuddy, frostbuddy.com/ATB. A lot of you guys are taking advantage of the deals over there. We appreciate that. Obviously, if you use our website, you're really helping us out a ton. Head over to frostbuddy.com/ATB. Pick up your 10-in-1 can cooler that's going to fit any size can or bottle you put in there. They more than likely have your favorite school, and the designs are just so good. They released some more today on a TikTok live. They're going to come out late September. There's probably still time for you to get one shipped to you by week 1. Once again, that's frostbuddy.com/ATB. All right, Lance, it's football time. Let's see if we still remember how to break down a game on here. And I guess for week 0, it's the big game breakdown. It's Kansas State versus Iowa State.
Absolutely, man. Like Farmageddon. We're not worthy, bro. We're not worthy of this. Farmageddon to start the year. Avery Johnson and Rocco Becht. I mean, come on, man. Chris Kleiman. Like we love us some Chris Kleiman. Dude, he's seriously, again, him and Matt Campbell both are two of those coaches that do more with less. I mean, dude, these teams are kind of mirror images of each other in their own way, the way they build their programs. They're the reason why, these two teams are a complete utter reason why we think the Big 12 is one of the most fun conferences to follow, because it's just pure chaos, and because almost every line and every game is going to be like this one because the teams are so close. Kansas State's -3 in this game. The total set right now at 49.5. I think there's going to be a lot of games in the Big 12 this year that's going to be somewhere between that 2.5 to 3.5, 4 point lines, because the teams are so close together. But Iowa State's kind of gotten the better of Kansas State in this matchup. They won 3 out of the last 4 years in the Farmageddon rivalry. Iowa State won 29-21 last year. Multiple meetings, like the last 3 matchups were decided by 1 possession in this game. And obviously this line tells you that Vegas thinks it's going to be more of the same. Farmageddon, this rivalry has been played every single year since 1917, making it the second longest non-interrupted rivalry in college football, only behind what, Tyler?
Paul Bunyan's axe, one of my favorite rivalries.
That's right. You've got it in your top 12 biggest rivalries. But yeah, only behind Minnesota, Wisconsin has this game been the most non-interrupted rivalry. We get it to start the year. K-State last year was 9-4. They were 4-9 against the spread. Only 9 teams in the Power 4 last year were worse than K-State against the spread. So K-State was not making anybody any money last year. That's for sure. But let's start here, man.
Hey, real quick, look at the bottom of this screen and hit that subscribe button for us, please. And also follow us on Apple and Spotify. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps us out a ton. We greatly appreciate it.
Let's start on the offensive side of the ball, the matchup between K-State's offense and Iowa State's defense. K-State on that side of the ball, obviously, the excitement, man, of Avery Johnson. I mean, an argument could be made that he is the most explosive from a dual threat standpoint. Him and maybe Damon Williams from Washington, as far as just overall just speed and the ability to, if they hit a crease, they can put their face mask on the goalpost in a hurry.
Excited to see Devin Dampier too.
Exactly. That's a good point. Devin Dampier, Utah. Yeah, great point there. But what I'm excited to see is, what has Avery Johnson, you hear stuff coming out of people that cover K-State, obviously a year of growth of trying to improve his overall throwing ability, improve him in the passing game, him being a little bit more efficient. Last year, he was 58% completion percentage. He had 2,700 yards passing, 600 yards rushing. Again, there's that dual threat ability, 27 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, but he had 12 picks. Again, 58% completion and 12 picks. He's got to improve throwing the football. K-State, man, interesting nugget here. I read this on Pick 6 previews. They outgained 12 of their 13 opponents that they faced last year. And they set program records for yards per play and yards per carry. But They went from being 10th in the Power Four in scoring offense last year to where they were 10th in the Power Four in scoring offense 2 years ago to where they were 46th last year out of 68 teams. So that's the reason why that offense they weren't getting in the end zone.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this: do you think K State with Dylan Edwards, the trio of Dylan Edwards, Joe Jackson, and Gabe Ervin, do you think that trio can make up for the production that DJ Giddens gave K State last year?
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Edwards is dynamic running back right in his own right. I mean, he transferred from Colorado. Just yeah, he was kind of like that lightning to lightning for DJ Giddens and Dylan Edwards. I'm excited about their wide receiver core though.
Yeah.
Jace Brown is back, and then Jerron Tibbs, another dude. We talked about it all off season. Another guy from Purdue. I mean, I just saw the preseason All American list. Dylan Tiedemann is on the preseason first team All American.
Just big time P4 programs are littered with Purdue transfers that are expected to make big time production for their teams. And Purdue, would they win 1 game last year, 2 games last
Yeah,
year?
one game. And
Yeah.
it's just and like you mentioned, man, like these teams are just they're so familiar with each
Yeah.
other. And like not to like completely like, switch the other side of the ball, but like just when you look at both the defenses, like obviously you got John Haycock at Iowa State, you got Joe Klanderman at Kansas State. Both guys have been in their respective posts in Ames and Manhattan for 14 years collectively. So like they know what offense Matt Campbell's going to want to run and vice versa. They know, what offense K-State's going to run. The offense though for Iowa State like it was completely different last year.
Yep.
Like they had Jaden Higgins, they had Jalen Noel, both are competing for time with the Houston Texans right now.
Yep.
You compare that with the offense they ran a couple years ago with Brees Hall. They upped their 3 wide formations by 6% last season. And it was just again, coaching masterclass from Matt Campbell, who's that one of those guys he's been rumored for so many jobs over the years, and he's just kind of stuck at Iowa State. And like at about the time he gets rumored for a good promotion, he kind of has a down year, a little bit like 7 to 5 years or so, and the rumors kind of go away. He just took him to the Big 12 championship game last year. They have a complete overhaul of that wide receiver room, like I mentioned, but I expect them to return to their 2 and 3 tight end sets because
Yep.
I just expect him to go back to his roots. Like their tight ends, Benjamin Brahmer and Gabe Burkle, have experience. Like they've got combined 50 career games, and they are both massive.
Yeah.
Both stand at over 6'6" tall, and they both weigh more than 250 pounds. So they have just been feasting on that corn there in Iowa, and they grow them big, man. So
I was just in Iowa today.
yeah, and it is just like Carson Hansen, Abu Sama, like they're gonna get plenty of work this year for the Cyclones.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, man. I think that obviously Campbell's done a great job of adjusting to the talent that he's got on his team to adjust their style of play for that. Obviously, Rocco Becht throwing for over 3K 2 years in a row. They're going to throw the football with him, but I agree with you. I think they're going to be a little bit more balanced this year, and they're going to want to be a little bit more balanced. Carson Hansen had 13 rushing touchdowns last year. You know what's interesting about this, though, man? Like we all talk about how Avery Johnson is the big dual threat quarterback in this game, and we don't talk about Rocco Becht being a dual threat like at all. Like nobody talks about Rocco Becht being a dual threat quarterback, and I understand. But dude, Rocco Becht had 8 rushing touchdowns last year. He had more rushing TDs than Avery Johnson.
Yeah,
last year. He was second in the Big 12 last year in quarterbacks and rushing TDs. So, my question for this, if I got a question for K-State in this game, it's what are they going to look like now? They have been one of those teams that have been just as stout as you can be on the offensive line. They're one of the best teams year after year of not giving up sacks. They run the football well with DJ Giddens, obviously, last year, and Avery Johnson ran the ball well last year, but they've always ran the football well. Connor Riley was one of the best offensive line coaches in all of college football. He was a co-OC last year with Matt Wells. He was such a good offensive line coach that the Dallas Cowboys went out and hired him away from K-State. So Connor Riley moved on to the Dallas Cowboys. K-State lost multiple offensive linemen to the NFL. So they're going to be replacing a lot of production along that offensive line. Again, they've still got good players, and they brought in some transfers and stuff. I'm not necessarily worried about the offensive line for K-State because until they show me that I need to worry, there's no reason for me to worry about it. But I'm just wondering, without Connor Riley and some of the production they're going to, be replacing, are they going to be as dominant as what they've been the last few years. Co-OC last year, Matt Wells, who's a former Texas Tech head coach, he is now taking over complete play calling duties and is the only offensive coordinator. There is no co-OC there. I'm interested to see though, is Avery Johnson, can he progress in the passing game? I don't think that K-State's going to get away from what they do best, which is running the football. That's what they do under Chris Kleiman. But man, I do think we're going to see them probably, put it in the air a little bit more with this receiving core that you mentioned. And they're talking about the progression of Avery Johnson. Now we know Iowa State, John Heacock on that defensive side of the ball. They run that 3-3 kind of stack with 5 DBs. They kind of made that, and he's kind of adjusted it a little bit in his time, but he kind of made that defense famous there in the Big 12. Matt Campbell brought that defense to the Big 12 because the Big 12 used to be just borderline air raid with the Lincoln Riley offenses and and the offenses that Oak State with Gundy and that crew used to have, and some other teams there in the Big 12, Texas Tech. We could go on, and they're always really good against the pass. Iowa State last year was number 2 in the nation against the pass. But last year they were awful. They were ranked in the 100s against the run. Terrible against the run. Cam Scatterbo just scored another touchdown. So, you got to think that with Iowa State last year lost their starting linebackers, all 3 of them, before the end of the first game. Before the end of week 1, Iowa State's depth chart of the linebacker position was completely ravaged. Now their entire depth chart at the linebacker position is all back from last year. The guys that were supposed to start, the guys that did start. So now that's turned into a strength of this team. So you got to think, man, that they're not going to be that booty against the run this year. So I'm not really sitting here saying that I think that Iowa State, because they couldn't stop the run last year, can't this year. So I just think, man, this is going to be a battle between another one possession type game. Like I said, 3 years in a row, it's been a one possession game. Kansas State defensively, they've got arguably the best defensive front in the Big 12. They've got a lot coming back on that side of the ball. Toby Osunsanmi, yes, I got it right there. And Chidi Obizior are 2 really good defensive linemen. They put me to the test at trying to pronounce those names. I see you chuckling there. But they're going to be able to get out of the passer, get after the passer a little bit. Usually early on too, man, defenses kind of dominate, early in the season. I think both of these defenses are going to be stout. That 49.
I think it all starts with Austin Romaine, though, on the defense.
Yeah.
Middle linebacker there, our boy Moose put out, the walk-on guys, they put out their, preseason All-American lists. And Austin Romaine was one of those guys who was mentioned the most in the comments of he's going to remember this. He's going to bookmark this, whatever. But he's a heck of a middle linebacker, heck of a quarterback on defense, right?
Yep. I think he was second team All Big 12 last year. So yeah, I agree, man. He's legit. And they returned both their linebackers. Desmond Purnell comes back as well, and they added a top former 100 recruit and Gabe Powers from Ohio State in the transfer portal. Last year, we talked about how bad Iowa State was at defending the run. K-State was also booty at defending the pass last year. They were 46th out of 68 Power 4 teams last year. So they went heavy in the transfer portal this offseason, heavier than Chris Kleiman has normally done. And kind of like our boy Witt over at Utah, they went heavy in the transfer portal for certain position needs. K-State did the same thing this year. So, you talked about Iowa State, those receivers that went on to the Houston Texans. They replaced them with 2 receivers of their own in the transfer portal, Xavier Townsend from UCF and Chase Sowell from ECU. Sowell was a really good wide receiver last year for East Carolina. Like you said, they love using the tight end in the passing game. That's been a staple of offenses since Matt Campbell's been there. I think they're going to use those 2 absolute monsters that you talked about in the passing game. The offensive line for Iowa State, they return guys that have a total combined of 106 starts in their career. So they've got some guys that have actually played at the P4 level quite a bit there on their offensive line. Man, what do you think? Do you think that K-State's weakness is pass defense shows up, or do you think that Iowa State's rush defense from last year a weakness? Do you think that they've improved those 2 units any?
Yeah, I mean, you can't get much worse. I mean, you expect with 5 DBs on the field, you're gonna have a pretty good pass defense. But with the running defense, they are going to get tested. With Avery Johnson, obviously, he can use his legs, and Dylan Edwards, like we mentioned. So, um, but like I said, man, it's tough to 105th in the country. It's tough to really go down from there. And I know, like you mentioned, John Heacock is he was not thrilled with that at all. He
Mm.
was not thrilled with that rush defense. He's going to want it a little more balanced. Um, so it's going to be a heck of a game, man. I mean, you think there's any chance we'll get some snow in Dublin like we got a couple years ago?
No, man, I don't think so. But I did see there's a chance for rain. Apparently that stadium where they play this game at, the grass is thicker and taller and stuff, so it's a slower track. So if there is some rain, that is a little bit of a slower track, but that total at 49 and a half. But man, I must be honest with you. I don't know that I can sit here first game of the year and sit there and pull for teams not to score.
Yeah,
No, I don't know that I can do that. This line at -3. I don't love either side whatsoever because of I think both of these teams, like you said, are mirror
yeah,
images of one another. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. About just the pick that I'm going to give in this game, because me and you both, for those first time joining us in a big game breakdown like this, we'll give picks in a game if we had to go one way or the other, and what we would
mhm,
do. Uh, I think in this one, man, with Avery Johnson and that running game for K State with the receivers that they have added, uh, I just I love the defensive line for K State. And I just think Kansas State is going to get it done. But dude, I feel just fantastic about that? No, but I'm thinking like a 27-23 type of game, 24-20. Again, going to be a one possession game.
yeah.
And I think K State wins the game. I think Avery Johnson, I'm dude, I just can't wait to see how much he has progressed in the passing game, or if he has
Mhm.
progressed in the passing game. Uh, yeah, I think K State's going to win this game.
Yeah, you're not gonna get me to pick a side. I mean, this is the Big 12 we're talking about. Like, I barely picked any win totals in our win totals episode with Jake Crane.
Yeah.
So you're just not gonna get me to pick a side. Like I said, if I had to pick a side, I'd probably just roll with the favorite and, money line it probably. You pay a little extra juice for the money line. I did do like a little, fun. I think it was DraftKings giving out 50% boost or whatever. Did a little fun bet of I took the under in the first quarter, 10.5. I just think flying across the pond. These teams have been practicing in 90 to 100-degree weather these last couple weeks. I know it's cooled off, but they're already over there. They're getting ready. Like you said, it could be raining, could be 60 degrees at kickoff, could be 30 degrees colder than what they're used to at practicing. And I just think, first game of the year, it's a little bit of a slow start. We've seen that over the years.
Kind
And
of filling each other out early on.
yeah, we've seen that. Plus, conference game, like I said, they know each other so well. But we've seen that
Yep.
over the years in these Ireland games, these week 0 games. But I parlayed it with the over 49.5. So I think it's get a lower scoring first quarter, and then I think we get wild. I think we get wild. I think you're going to get on X, and you're going to see people saying, "Here we go, Big 12, baby! It's already starting. The chaos is already starting. It's going to get wild." Like you said, 27-23. That gets you the over 49.5. I think it was like plus 335 or something, plus 355. And I threw a couple bucks on that just to have fun.
I like it, man. Yeah, I may try to join something there with the over, just to pull for something there.
Yep.
Again, I think it might be a one possession game. I might do the thing that's just so smart, to do college teasers, uh, and do like if you do like Iowa State plus 10 mixed with over like 42 and a
Two.
half,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or something like that. I
Yeah.
may do something like that just to because I think it's going to be a close game. I do think these quarterbacks are both too dang good
Yeah.
to not put up some points on each other. So yeah, I may do something like that just so I can pull for points and pull for a close game, which is when I'm not a fan of either team, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Do you have any other bets? I don't know if we have the notes in front of us, but we had Kansas State playing Fresno State. I think Kansas State's minus 13,
Whoa,
13 and a
whoa,
half.
Kansas. Wait, don't mess that up.
Kansas, yeah,
Jayhawk fans
Kansas.
will be Come on now, Rock Chalk
Sorry. Yeah,
Jayhawk.
Kansas State and Kansas both in action in week
I
0.
love it, man. Hey, how about Kansas opening up that newly
Oh, yeah.
renovated stadium?
Yep.
That is
Should be
a
good.
good looking stadium, bro.
Mhm.
Uh,
And then you've got Sam Houston State, Western Kentucky. That's another conference game in Conference USA.
yeah,
And then finish it off on the West Coast, Stanford, Frank Reich going on the road to play Hawaii,
Timmy Chang.
which and I believe that line's flipped all the way to like Hawaii -1 or 1.5.
Last time I saw it, bro, it was like Hawaii 2, 2.5.
Yeah,
No,
that's wild.
nobody's expecting a dang thing out of Stanford this year. I'm
Yeah,
not touching that game just because, dude, I don't have a clue what to expect
yeah,
from Stanford. Uh, the Kansas line was interesting. Did I see that was like 13?
yeah. 13, I think.
13-point line. You know, Matt
Yep.
Enns is the new coach for Fresno. He was the coach at North Dakota State that left the Bison to go be the linebackers coach for USC and Lincoln Riley, and he parlayed that into being the head coach for Fresno. People thought he was
Mhm.
crazy for leaving North Dakota State to go be a position coach somewhere else.
Yeah,
But dude, he can coach, man. I mean,
yeah.
it wouldn't shock me at all for him to have that Fresno team solid. But I'm that one's a little interesting. I think the emotion of opening up that new stadium. We expect Kansas to be solid this year with Jalen Daniels. Uh, I could see myself getting Kansas under 2 tutties. I mean, again, that could be a very competitive game, and Kansas win like 31-17. That's a cover.
Mhm.
That's still a
Yeah,
cover.
yeah.
But I'm not touching those other 2 games. I don't know enough about Sam Houston and Western KY. Uh, I just don't know what that. No, dude, I don't care what anybody says. Nobody has a clue what to expect from freaking Stanford right
Nope,
now. I mean, Frank
nope.
Reich's a hell of a coach. So would I be shocked if Stanford all of a sudden shows up and they just want to play bully ball and try to lean on the Rainbow Warriors down there in Hawaii? No. Would I be shocked if Timmy Chang's Hawaii bunch starts slinging it all over the yard and they get on Stanford a little bit? I would not. So I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not. If you made me lean aside there, I'd probably look at Hawaii, but I'm not touching it.
yeah.
Uh, so my only lean in those other games right now would be taking a look at possibly Kansas
Mhm.
-13. But yeah, that might be. Hey man, maybe I'll throw them in on that teaser. Get them at -6.
There you go.
Hey, a college teaser, week 0 college teaser. What if I tweet that out? How many people will talk about you don't know ball?
That needs to be a weekly segment, maybe Lance's teaser.
Lance's teaser. I'll think of a name
Lance's
for it.
teaser of the week.
We'll see if we can get it going. But yeah, man, I think K State wins the game. Do I feel great about it? No, but I'm just happy that we have live tackle freaking football back. Our first big game breakdown of the year. Folks, again, follow us on our socials. Follow us on X. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching us here on YouTube. Follow us on Apple and Spotify. Go to frostbuddy.com/8TB, all the good things. And man, we can't wait to talk more football with you all year this year.
Yeah, hopefully we weren't too rusty. Hopefully, as we went on, we knocked off that rust that was there. But stay tuned tomorrow. Our final preview episode of the year is coming out. It's our college football playoff predictions, and we will be unveiling the ATB preseason top 12 rankings too. So stay tuned for that on Friday. And then, yeah, like you said, Saturday we got games, man. And then next week we're rolling right into week 1. So, like Lance said, subscribe, comment, let us know we suck, let us know we did a good job. It's all good, man. We appreciate it. For Tyler Noe, Lance Barton, have a great day. Take care, and we'll see you next time.